Hey guys, welcome to Pokédex, the channel where I build decks for the Pokemon trading card game. Today we have another deck featuring new cards from Ancient Origins, and it's Mega Sceptile EX. This Mega Evolution was really hyped when the new set was spoiled, and for good reason I think. It has the ancient trait Theta Stop, which prevents effects of opposing Pokemon abilities. I'm not sure how relevant this will be right now, don't know if there are many abilities we want to prevent, but you never know, right? In future sets there may be something that will just make Mega Sceptile even better. So it's always a nice thing to have on a Pokemon. The focus though is going to be the attack, Jagged Saber. For just a couple of energy, it deals 100 damage and you can attach 2 grass from your hand to your bench in any way you like. So if you attach an energy with this attack, you'll also heal all the damage from the Pokemon you attach to. That's super awesome. Mega Sceptile is going to be dealing 100 damage, which is enough to kill almost anything in 2 hits. And if we can stream them together, like using a Sceptile to heal the other, can just keep denying prizes to our opponents. There's a problem though, there's a clear flaw to this strategy. If the opponent is playing something that can 1-hit KO our guys, like a Mega Rayquaza, the healing does nothing and we cannot kill this Pokemon in 1 hit. But on the other hand, if they are playing something like Mega Manectric that cannot kill us in 1 attack, we will probably just run with the money, especially since that deck lost the Max Potion. We'll have no way to heal their guys and we will have Jagged Saber healing ours. So Mega Sceptile is a Pokemon that really incentivizes the 2-attack grindy strategy, so I just decided to go with that. My build has no nonsense, just consistency and going for the healing of our attackers over and over. One thing that this deck is missing is a decent non-EX attacker, I think, for better price trades. Either Grass type or even something that attacks with Colorless. I think this deck hates playing 2 types of energy, so I'd stick with Grass only. Right now, don't really know what we could play, but I'm open to suggestions, so if you guys have some, you can drop them in the comment section below. We are playing a couple of Lugia EX in here, mostly because they present a different weakness than Sceptile. It's weak to lightning, this guy, and Sceptile is weak to fire. Aero Ball is like Mewtwo EX's attack, only this dude is not weak to itself. It's a Pokemon that likes to have a lot of energy on, so Jagged Saber's acceleration seems to work especially well with it. I'm not playing DCEs here. They work well with Lugia, but I don't think they'd be enough for 1-hit KOs anyway, so might as well just max out on our grass and make sure that we have them in hand so that we can heal all the time. So Lugia is just going to be like a secondary attacker with a different weakness. Sometimes we can build a huge Lugia EX for a huge Aero Ball, but generally it's just going to be doing the same thing that the Sceptiles are going to be doing, like to hitting our opponent's Pokemon. We have a couple of Shaymin EX in here for obvious reasons, setup mostly. We just wanna put this guy down to draw a lot of cards, and we do have the space in our bench, sorry. We are playing 4 Sceptile EX. I'm playing 4 because I want to start with it, and also because Sceptile EX is pretty decent on its own, so sometimes we might have a Sceptile EX in there that we don't even want to evolve. This dude has Sleep Poison for 1 energy. It's not the greatest attack ever, deals 10 damage. If flip a coin, if has your opponent's active Pokemon is asleep and poisoned, so it has a 25% chance of doing nothing their next turn, unless they have a switch of course. But that's pretty decent for just a grass energy. Unseen Claw can deal 60 damage, but if the opponent's active Pokemon is affected by a special condition, like if it's poisoned, this attack does 70 more damage. So we can actually deal a lot of damage with if the opponent is poisoned, and we have a 2-2 Ariados line in here for that. Poisonous Nest allows us to poison both active Pokemon unless they are grass typed. So if we are attacking with our Sceptile or Mega Sceptile, we might as well just have Ariados in there dealing extra damage, especially since the Sceptile EX Unseen Claw attack does extra damage on the poison. So we have 3 Mega Sceptile EX, not playing the 4th. I don't think this deck really needs that. And I already talked about the Sceptile, so let's just jump into the items. So I'm playing 2 Energy Retrieval and 2 Professor's Letters. These items kinda help us pretend that we have more energy in our deck than we actually have. And I think they work really nicely. We don't want to have like a million spots for energy, so we can just grab them from our deck and then later grab them from our discard pile with these items. I think this works out really well. I tried this a lot in a lot of games and quite happy with the 2-2 of each and the 10 grass energy that we are playing. We have 3 switch. Sometimes we want to switch without spending energy because we might, I don't know, want to retreat with a Mega Sceptile and we don't have a lot of energy in hand to accelerate afterwards or something like that. So switch is an interesting, very useful card. We can also use it in the early game when we want to retreat from our guys. So if we start with a Spinnerack, I don't know, something like that, or even a Shaman or a Lugia, we might not want to play the energy there. So we just grab the Sceptile, drop the energy there, and then switch for the attack on the second turn. We have 3 Trainer's Mail, obviously just to draw cards. For Ultra Ball, really good because they grab all our guys, and especially the Shaman EX, of course. We have 4 VS Seeker, with the ends rotating out. I guess VS Seeker just becomes a must-have in all decks, like a 4-off, in pretty much any deck. We have 1 Ace Trainer, just to punish our opponents if they took the prize lead. We have 2 X-Maniac. I really like X-Maniac in this deck. Sometimes we don't want to play a supporter, so we just play X-Maniac for extra value. Like, just if the opponent would use some sort of ability the next turn, we just cut it off. So it does a lot of stuff, prevents our opponent's Shamans from going off, stuff like that. And if the opponent is playing like a Vileplume deck, X-Maniac just allows us to just play our items, our energy retrievals and our Professor Letters. I think that's really totally awesome. We also have 2 Lysander in here. You guys know what that does, don't really need to explain it. And as far as card drawing goes, we have 1 Pokemon Fan Club. It's good because we can grab any of our techie Pokemons like the Ariados, or just grab a Shaman in there so that we can play a Pokemon down and then play a Shaman and draw cards. We have 1 Professor Birch's Observations for that time, those times when we don't want to discard our hand. And of course 4 Professor Sycamore, just the best supporter there is. We have 3 Forest of Giant Plants, not playing the 4th because we don't really need to. It's a nice card to have, it's nice to just bounce the opponent's stadiums and all that, but at the end of the day, we don't really need the ability too much. If we have it, it's good, but if we don't, we can manage. We have 3 Spirit Links, Sceptile Spirit Link, obviously just to get in our Sceptiles and allow us to evolve without losing our turn. And I'm not playing Muscle Bands here. Once again, we go back to the same explanation. It's a 2-hit knockout deck. I don't really think we can... We need a Muscle Band, and I don't really think we can fit them in the deck. Of course, if it ever came down to a meta where we really needed them, if the opponent was attacking with, I don't know, Pokemon that had 130 HP, something like that, we could have the Muscle Bands just so that we could use Mega Sceptile, Muscle Band, and then Ariados for the 130, something like that. Definitely see a scenario where that is good, but I don't really know at this point, so I'm just going with the straightest deck that I can, as usual. As you guys know, that's my modus operandi. That's what I like to do in the early days of an expansion coming out, and especially after a rotation. So that's where I'm going for right now. Hope you guys enjoy this, so let's just jump into the matches and see what we have. Okay, so we're starting our match against a Fighting Psychic Water deck. Don't really know what to expect out of this. Let's see what our opponent is playing. We choose Tails and we go first, which is pretty good for this deck. Okay, so it's some sort of fighting deck, maybe Groudon deck. We see Robo Substitute and Donphan. It's actually a Donphan deck. Okay, I guess that deck is going to rotate out. Donphan is no longer going to be viable for the standard format, but it's a good deck right now. I'm going to draw cards, of course. It's a good deck right now. Put the Spinnerack down. I'm playing the energy and I'm playing the Professor Birch because I want to shuffle all of this stuff back. And we actually drew 7 cards. Oh, we got the Stadium. That's pretty nice, because that means we can evolve into the Sceptile this turn. Yeah, we will lose the turn, but we wouldn't be attacking anyways. As I was saying, Donphan is going to rotate, but it's a good deck right now, and I think the power level goes a little bit down after rotation because we lose a lot of cards. So if we can manage to beat a deck that's good right now, maybe that is very good for this deck. That means that we can actually face the decks post-rotation. Okay, we drew another energy. Okay, I'm going to definitely attack with the Mega Sceptile and not play the Sycamore, because I want to just charge up that Sceptile EX that we have on the bench. 100 damage on the Fampi. Let's just charge up this dude. So second turn, we already took a knockout and we have 4 energy in play. That's really good. Of course, something we could have done with the Virizion. Oh, Sigilif. But I guess the Mega Sceptile has the option to heal damage. And our opponent is going to, have a Sigilif on our face. I guess we have the X-Maniac and also Spinnerack, which can evolve into the Ariados. Ariados deals 30 damage and then poisons, which means 40 and then 50 on the way back and then 40 again, which will knock out that Sigilif. So I guess I can put this other Spinnerack down because Ariados is going to be good. And I think I'm going to Lysander this Donphan. I want to make the most out of the Lysanders. I'm not going to knock it out, but it's 100 damage, so... yeah, as I was saying, the Ariados is actually pretty decent. The attack deals 30 damage and doesn't let our opponent's Pokemon retreat, so it works really well with the poison, in that we deal 40 and then 10 again on when our opponent passes the turn back to us, so I don't think he can attack with the Sigilifs at all. So I just want to get rid of these Donphans, and then the Ariados might be enough to take care of the Sigilif. Of course, we also have X-Maniac. Our opponent actually plays a laser, that's kind of weird. So I don't really know how much damage he can do, so it's 80 if he wrecks. That's 80 plus 80. I guess that's 160 plus the laser, 170. Yeah, it wouldn't be enough. We would be left at 10 life. We actually drew another Lysander, which was pretty lucky. So I can actually get rid of this Donphan. That turned out pretty nicely. And because our opponent did not wreck, the result was pretty much the same. Well, I guess we did not use the Sycamore as we would have done. Would my opponent have left Donphan in the active position, but we were poisoned, so we potentially would be getting knocked out anyways. I don't know. The play would be completely different. Oh, we actually see a Lucario for my opponent. That's really good. And an N, so it actually means that we got out of that Sycamore. So this hand is actually worse. Lucario is going to deal 30, not that much, and 40 from the poison. We are at 60 life, so I think the play... Okay, we got an Ultra Ball, that's perfect. I actually think I have to play this Spirit Link here, and of course I want the Ariados, so I'm going for a Shaymin with this Ultra Ball. I have to discard the Lugia. It's a waste because it does have the resistance, but I think my opponent can get around that pretty nicely. Okay, so we actually can play the Sycamore. Let's play this thing first. Okay, we got an Ultra Ball, that's good. Can actually Ultra Ball for Shaymin, or... Actually, you can Ultra Ball for another Mega Sceptile. I'm going to discard the supporters, yep, because we have the energy retrieval, which is perfect. So we can just get a Mega Sceptile and then retreat without using the switch. So our energies are going to be discarded, and then we can get them back with energy retrieval, and we can actually heal all the damage of that guy. That's awesome. This was an awesome turn for us. Once again, I'm not going to use the Sycamore. I'm going to use Poison, because we might as well, right? It's 10 extra damage. If our opponent does not retreat, it's another 10. And we actually put an energy on our Ariados just so we are ready for anything. I'm pretty confident I'm going to draw an energy out of this Sycamore. If we need to attack with a Sceptile, we attack with a Sceptile. If the opponent actually retreats, we just go with the Ariados. Okay, there's a Fampi. And an item, which is maybe a Floatstone, something, or a switch. Oh, it's actually Scoop Up Cyclone, so our opponent is getting rid of the damage. It's a weird item. It's a weird choice of a spec. Maybe our opponent does not have anything else, but it chooses the Sigilif. So maybe this is the perfect time to just retreat with our Sceptile into the Ariados, find an energy, and just get rid of a Sigilif, really. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm pretty confident I'm going to draw an energy. Hopefully I'm not wrong, but if I am, I can just retreat again. Oh yeah, we actually drew a million energy. So okay, so we have to use Poisonous Nest first to put a poison on our opponent, and then 30, and he can't retreat, and then it's extra 10 from the poison, and then 10, as I said, as my opponent passes the turn, and then we deal 40 again. So turns out really nicely for us, I think. I guess my opponent is going to be able to evolve into his Donphan, but not being able to retreat from the Sigilif shall protect our Ariados, hopefully. I mean, he can play a switch, but our opponent did not show us a switch, and he actually had to dig for the scoop, so I'm pretty confident he won't be able to retreat. Caldio EX, okay. Forget what I just said. But if Caldio comes... Oh, there's a Floatstone. Come on, man. Seriously? Did he draw that Floatstone this turn? Okay, and he gets the Donphan. Okay, so forget all I've just said. I mean, well, at least he's not going to be killing an EX. He's just going to be killing an Ariados. I was pretty confident I was getting the knockout on that Sigilif, but oh well. Now I just have to charge up the other Ariados or just find an X-Maniac or something. We'll see what comes out of this. Can go with this guy because if I want to charge up energy later, I can just put the extra energy on the guy that only has one. So kind of in a... I don't really know what I'm going to do here. I have a lot of options, but I just feel like I want to just... I don't know. I can go for... I mean, we could deal 150 damage if we have the Sceptile in play, but we don't have enough energy on it, so yeah, might as well just, I guess, Lysander out is Donphan and just deal 100 damage to it, because if we're losing our turn, might as well just deal damage to that guy, so I'm going for that. And then, because it just punishes my opponent more if he wrecks. Let's see if we... Yeah, we actually got the X-Maniac here, so we can actually... I don't know what I'm going to do. I think... Yeah, I'll put the Spirit Link. I think I'm actually going to Lysander out the Caldio EX, because that means no more shenanigans. We actually knock out and take 2 prizes, which is pretty insane. We're dealing 200 damage. And I think we can manage to do that because we don't have any damage on the table. And then we just have to get rid of that Donphan and we're done. Also, if our opponent keeps not using Wreck, we can just take 2 quick kills on this Sigilif because we have a couple of X-Maniacs in hand. So we'll see how this goes. I'm feeling quite good about my position. I mean, don't have damage on the table. Oh, there's another kill on the Ariados. I guess my opponent is kind of afraid of the Sigilif getting knocked out by the Ariados. But it shows us the Robo Substitute, which is lame for us. But we do have an option to Lysander something out. So I think I am going for that. We have to use these 2 Via Seekers in order to kill that Donphan, which kind of sucks, but oh well. We'll see how this goes. Of course, our opponent can just drop an energy and oh, okay, that gets rid of the Spirit Links. Is my opponent going to find Team Flare tool? I hope not. Karina can mean that, but okay, there's a Landorus, which I'll gladly Lysander out. I don't think Landorus can do a lot against us. Hopefully my opponent does not have a way to get any energy, because that would mean a wreck, which would mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 60, 180. Okay, you wouldn't be killing our Mega Sceptile anyway, so I'm not too worried. If we could find an energy, we could just heal off all the damage again. So yeah, I guess we are not very effective in dealing damage to the Donphan deck, in that we cannot kill them in 1 hit. But once again, neither can they. So okay, we actually have a couple of things we can do. We can just kill the Sigilif. Okay, let's see. We got a Professor's Ladder. Perfect. We can heal the damage. I am going to find 2 energy, which is pretty nice. We can heal the damage, or we can just kill the Donphan, which I feel like it's better, because we got just rid of all the energy that our opponent could have. I mean, he has 1 on the Landers, but I'm not really scared of that. And I can then safely just play the X-Maniacs and just get rid of his Sigilifs really nicely. Could also just go double knockout on that Landers, or double attack knockout. We got the energy retrieval, which is super good at this stage of the game. I don't think I have energy left in my deck, if I remember correctly. I grabbed the last 2 out of that last Professor's Ladder, and there's finally a Stadium for our opponent, and a Muscle Band. Okay, so it does not retreat, so we got the win here. We just got the X-Maniac down, and just Jagged Saber, bam, 100 damage, victory. This was an interesting match, I guess. this is not a matchup that we'll see a lot of times, just because the Donphan deck is going to rotate out. The Sigilif is going to rotate out. But at the same time, it's a good deck, so I'm quite happy that we managed. And it's actually a pretty tricky deck, so this shows that this deck can actually be versatile. And as I said, as long as we are not getting one hit KO'd, I think we will be fine, because we can just keep healing the damage over and over and over again. If the format gets to a point where it's kind of a rock, paper, scissors kind of stuff with Rayquaza, Manectric, and this deck, I think that's pretty cool, because Rayquaza will beat this deck and this deck will beat the Manectric, which in turn will beat the Rayquaza. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen as far as the X decks go. Of course, we also have Vespiquen to worry about, and the Raichu decks also really quickly. So we'll see how things shape. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you try Mega Sceptile out. I definitely think it's going to be good. So yeah, that's it. See you guys next time. Bye.